It's Allied Week. I just wanted to share a story about my appreciation for Allied and how greatly it impacted my life, having an Allied person be so important. When I was younger, my brother, we knew that he had a heart condition, and so we always were really protective of him, and we were in and out of hospitals and making testing and things like that. And at one point, when he was 19, he was working at our neighborhood Applebee's, and kind of felt like he just was run down and just didn't feel well. So he went home from his shift early, which is totally not like my brother. The next day, he felt even worse, and with some urging from my grandparents, he went into our hospital, which I grew up in a pretty small town too. So the hospital that we have is the one that actually has a lot of travelers. He was 19, so nobody really thinks that a 19-year-old is going to have anything real significant to worry about. So they ordered an echo, and that echo tech was phenomenal. She came in and did a quick scan, and I think within 3 minutes, she already knew there was a big problem. What happened is she found that his aortic valves had started to tear. Not only there was a problem with the valves, but there was also a problem with his aorta. And instead of running extra tests, the tech essentially pushed right into surgery. So he went into an emergency heart surgery, and in that surgery, they discovered that his ascending aorta was only a few millimeters thick. So what we were told was about the consistency of wet tissue paper. So had he coughed or sneezed at any point before he actually got back to surgery, it would have ruptured. So the swift movement and how quickly that tech was able to realize exactly what was going on and the problem and everything to be able to get him back into the emergency room, into the OR, was just so important. So they got in there, they were able to repair the valves and the ascending aorta. When they were in there, they discovered that his descending aorta was probably along the same lines of eventually needing to be repaired. But at the time, they weren't really planning to have to completely replace the ascending aorta. So the surgery turned in way longer than they had hoped it was going to go. So they didn't have time to replace everything. So in July of 2001, his descending aorta did rupture, and we did lose him. But that extra 3 years was because I was like 14, 15. So my brother being bigger, it was just he's just my brother. He's just this, but that was such a wake-up call, and I was able to actually enjoy time with my brother, and I can I'll never be able to thank that tech for what we got. So it's really important, and sometimes you don't think when you're doing your job that it's really necessarily going to have such a lasting impact. But now I think it's been like 22 years now, and I still am so thankful for what we got. I'm still so thankful for the quick and fast actions and the ability to notice something and speak up, because all of that saved my brother's life. Now, granted, I can't predict the future, but I would take getting those 3 years over anything before that. So thank you to all of our allied people. Your job is so much more important in the backside for families than you really possibly could think.